All right, today we're cracking open a document that's less of a book and more of a field manual for a war you might not even know you're fighting. It's called Transcendant. It's by an author called Pirate First, and honestly, it's one of the most powerful manifestos I've seen for anyone trying to get a real message out into the world today.
And it starts with a bang, literally. Right from the jump, the author makes it crystal clear this isn't some academic theory. Nope. This is a set of survival protocols, a kind of weaponized manuscript for communicators who refuse to be put in what it calls the algorithmic chokehold. So yeah, let's light the fuse and see what this is all about.
And this gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's not about getting banned or deleted. It's that feeling of shouting into a hurricane of just pure noise, where your actual, authentic voice just seems to vanish. Well, the manifesto argues that feeling is not in your head. It's by design.
Yeah, so according to Pirate First, this isn't a bug, it's a feature. The modern internet isn't some level playing field. It's actually a hostile environment where the very economics of the system are designed to favor noise over signal, chaos over clarity.
Here's the central diagnosis, and it's so important. Old school censorship was a brick wall. You knew when you hit it. But this new model, it's way more subtle, and because of that, way more effective. It doesn't actually stop you from speaking. It just surrounds your voice with a massive sea of bots, AI-generated nonsense, and paid-for phantoms until you're nothing more than a statistical error.
And these numbers, wow, they really paint the picture of the economic reality here. We're all sold this dream about the booming creator economy, right? But the data tells a very, very different story. Almost half of all full-time creators are making less than $1,000 a year. The system generates a ton of activity, sure, but the rewards all flow to the top. Most people are, as the text puts it, just galley slaves who think they are rowing their own boat. So why? Why is it like this? Well, Transcendant offers this absolutely brutal economic principle to explain it. Think about it. An honest creator, a truth teller, spends their money carefully. They need a return on their investment. But a scammer, a money launderer, they don't care about ROI. They can outbid anyone for attention because they're not trying to earn money, they're trying to wash money. And that dynamic, the manifesto says, completely rigs the entire game.
And this brings us to what is maybe the most explosive idea in the whole document: digital hawala. It basically reframes the entire influencer economy we see as a massive off-the-books system for cleaning dirty money, where likes and followers have become the new currency.
So, let's break down how this fame wash actually works. It's a three-step cycle. First, injection. Dirty money gets pumped in to buy fake fame. Bots, likes, followers, the whole shebang. Second, the wash. A shell company pays this new influencer a huge sponsorship fee. And finally, extraction. The money comes out the other side, totally clean, and the fake social media numbers are the perfect cover story. It's a closed loop. No real value is ever created, but the money is laundered perfectly. And get this, here's the math from the case study in the document. It costs just $40,000 to fabricate enough fame to justify laundering $1 million. I mean, that is an incredible return on investment. It shows you just how efficient this laundering machine really is, and it's all hiding in plain sight. Okay, so if the whole game is rigged, what on earth do you do? This is where the manifesto makes a big pivot, from diagnosis to doctrine. It argues that if you can't outshout the noise, you have to learn to move through it like a ghost.
The core principle is actually pretty simple, but it's powerful. The platforms, the algorithms, the noise engines, they all need to be able to map you. They have to categorize you to predict you. Because once they can pin you down, they can drown you out. The ghost signal doctrine is all about denying them that ability by becoming strategically unreadable.
So what does that look like? Well, here are the tactics. Don't build one giant, easy-to-target profile. Instead, you fracture your presence across a bunch of different channels. You use ambiguity like a shield to confuse the algorithms, and this one is huge. You refuse the machine's pace. You don't have to post 10 times a day. And most importantly, you turn your real audience into your network, empowering them to carry your signal where the noise can't reach.
This slide just captures that mental shift so perfectly. The old mindset is all about competing head-on with the noise, chasing huge reach, constantly feeding the algorithm. The sovereign mindset that Transcendant proposes is about abandoning that scoreboard completely. You operate outside their value system. You aim for deep connection, not wide reach, and you build a direct line to your people. But look, operating like this takes a whole different kind of mental toughness. To really survive what this thing calls the noise war, you have to fundamentally change how you even measure success in the first place.
And this line right here, this is the absolute key. Metrics measure the health of the machine, not the reach of the message. Every view, every impression, all it's measuring is how well you served the platform. It says absolutely nothing about whether you actually reached a human mind or changed a single perspective. To be sovereign, you have to abandon their metrics, period.
So, if their scoreboard is useless, what's the real one? Well, here it is. According to the manifesto, a true win isn't a viral post. It's one person reading your work all the way to the end. One person whose thinking is genuinely altered. One person who passes your signal on to just one other human. These are the victories that matter, because these are the things that bots can never, ever replicate.
And that brings us to the final and most ambitious part of Transcendent. This is about moving beyond just surviving the noise to actually creating something permanent. A signal that can become what the title calls a civilization seed.
Now, to get this, you have to look at how the manifesto sees legacy. This pyramid of permanence is brilliant. At the bottom, you have platforms. They're gone in 5-10 years tops. The personas we build on them, a little longer. But look at the top. Ideas, worldviews, archetypes. These things can last for centuries, even millennia, long after today's digital empires are dust. The goal is to stop playing at the bottom of the pyramid and start building at the top. And this just clarifies the ultimate goal perfectly. You're not looking for followers. Followers are passive. They just consume your performance. You're trying to cultivate heirs, people who internalize your ideas and can carry the signal forward on their own. Legacy isn't built on influence, the manifesto says. It's built on continuity.
So if you take only one thing away from all this, let it be this right here. It's a validation for anyone who feels like they're being drowned out. The problem isn't your signal. The problem is the battlefield itself. And once you truly understand that, everything changes. You stop blaming yourself and you start changing your strategy.
And the manifesto ends with this. It's not really a conclusion, it's more like a commission. After laying out the problem, the tactics, the whole vision, it just hands the responsibility over to you. It's a final, powerful call to action that leaves you feeling like the era of just broadcasting into the void is over. The age of sovereign transmission starts right now.